My guest today is Johanna Uribe, a first-generation Mexican-American professional working for the global company Nike as a community ambassador, coaching and mentoring kids using the power of sports. Johanna is also the creator of the podcast Motivated Mindset, where she spreads positive mindset to impact the life of our communities. Today, she talked about the challenges to be a first-generation Mexican-American, her love for sports and community, and the satisfaction to transform lives by giving empowerment and hope to younger generations. I'm sure you will enjoy this episode and hopefully you can learn some lessons to apply to your own life. Now, let's get in the ring. Johanna Uribe, it's 33 years old right now. She was born in Loma Linda, California, and you are the first generation of Mexican American that grew up in a small town called Calexico, right? Which Calexico, it's in the border with Mexicali and Baja California, right? Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Right now, you are working on Nike as a coach and people leader, and also you are a Nike community ambassador for kids, right? On the brand for 9 years. First of all, I want to welcome you to our podcast, Get in the Ring. Okay, and this podcast, what we do is we invite champions of life and business to share with us their journey, the best fights, the best lessons, the best punches, the punches in the mouth that put you on your knees. And so we want to learn from you all that, okay? So I want to thank you for being here and having the time to spend a nice conversation with us, okay? So first of all...
Thank you for inviting me.
Awesome.
Very excited.
Nice. So let's just start by, I will allow you to present yourself. If you don't mind, tell us who is Johanna Uribe?
That's a really broad question. Well, I'm Johanna, as Jose already mentioned. I am 33 years old, even though I don't like saying that, but I am 33. I come from a small town, guys. Johanna, I would say, is a humble person. I like to connect with people. Connections with people, for me, it's like the most important thing. Wherever I go, I like to help people, whether it's at a gas station. Like today, I went to the gas station, a guy was selling some flowers, and I was like, hey, here you go, I didn't even take the flowers. So, I feel like anywhere I go, I am that person that wants to help no matter what. My parents raised me that way since I can remember, honestly. I would say, like, at a young age, I think it was like in 6th or 7th grade, I had that in my mind. Like, I was like, I know my life is going to be different overall. And I knew that coming from a small town, I didn't want to just be stuck in the same place and doing the same things. So around that age, that's when I started getting into like playing basketball. If you guys don't know, basketball is like everything to me. I played from I think it was 8 years old all the way to 24. I actually got to play from elementary all the way to college. I think sports overall kind of helped me build my character overall, my confidence, my hard work, and my determination. Like I said, Johanna is a very humble person. Even though I've accomplished a lot, I feel, in my life, in my 33 years of life. But one of the things that my parents have always taught me was to stay true to yourself. Doesn't matter where you go. So I think that's why, I don't know, that's one of the things I gravitated, you to me, because I feel when I saw that podcast that you sent me with the Reebok guy, I could just see like the way you were and things like that. And I was like, this is actually a great fit for me as well. Because I don't connect with people just because. I feel like God has always been the connector in my life, if that makes sense. And it's so strange, like wherever I've gone to, the people that I always meet, they always either end up helping me or I help them, or we just learn from each other. So like I said, I think I don't want to like get into it too much, but I think overall, like I think my purpose in life is to help people overall and serve. And I think that's why I am the person that I am and what I've been doing with Nike, with with the kids as well. I've coached endless teams since 2015 to
Wow.
now, and next year will be where I go on my sabbatical. I'll be turning 10 years in the company in August, so I'm actually excited for that. But yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
Wow. Wow. I'm impressed. And you know what? I'm with you. I feel kind of like the same as you feel. Like it's kind of like something in the purpose of both of us that connect us over LinkedIn. Yeah. So we connect on LinkedIn. It happens by accident that you saw our podcast, my episode with Joe
Yeah.
Foster, founder of Reebok. And then we start chatting with each other. And
Yeah.
now we are here. And I'm drive. My drive is the same as you. I'm always trying to add value to help people. Like I mentioned it to you by email that I have more than 7, 8 years coaching and mentoring young students in India, United States, and Latin America, and learning from
Awesome.
them and helping them. And I see a lot of alignment with you helping Nike on mentoring and coaching and providing guidance to those young guys on the basketball, on any other type of team. So I'm glad to connect with you, and I know something good is going to be happening on this episode and after that. Okay, so tell me, Johanna, how do you feel to be the first generation of Mexican Americans here in the United States? As far as I know, you are on San Diego, California, right? And
Yeah.
also, and let me tell you this also, first generation Mexican American and working for the number one company in the world in sports athletics, right? So
Yeah.
tell me, how is that?
Every time people say that, like for me, it honestly it means a lot. But I knew at a young age too, like Nike was the brand that I wanted to work for.
Mm.
Growing up, like my dad, my dad was the one that would always support me, like all my games. He would take me to Big Five and go to like buy like the K Swiss, like the LA gear, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm, the LA
You
gear.
guys know what that is. But what I was gonna say, like honestly, for me, I think when you manifest things, doesn't matter how you like if you're 7 to now, like doesn't matter what age you are. I think I feel like I've manifested that throughout my whole life. And honestly, for me, being first generation Mexican American means a lot to me, especially because of my parents. My parents, oh, I don't want to
Mm.
cry, but like my parents have done everything in their power for me to be where I'm at. And I'm not just here because of me, I'm here because of them, because of their
Wow.
hard work. Like they had to work all the time. Since I remember my dad does construction. So he works with construction. He's been working construction since he was like 19. He's
Wow.
58 now. Now he has his team and everything, but every single day of his life, I saw him wake up at 3:30 in the morning. My mom would wake up, make him food, the lunch. That was like their time for themselves. And then obviously the time would start. But I think I got the drive from my mom because my mom, she was a salesperson. Like I don't know if you guys know,
Mm.
but she used to work for Princess House. So Princess House was pretty much like you would sell like crystal figures. I don't even remember what it was, but she would take me everywhere because she didn't have anybody to leave me with. Back in the day, I was with my mom everywhere.
Wow.
So I think my drive and like how I am now, like not just selling, but how I am with people, I saw that at a young age with my mom. Um, so I think overall, like honestly, for me, being the first generation, the first one to graduate college too in Washington. I went to the school that I wanted to, Walla Walla University. I grew up Christian. I'm Adventist. So I think all those things helped me along the way. But it makes me proud to just be who I am now and the parents that I have. I wouldn't change it for the world. And I know everybody probably says that, but if you guys meet my dad and my mom, you guys will understand. I have like both things in me.
Sure. You know what? It's very important to practice gratitude, and I see you are very grateful for and humble for your origins. I mean, where are you coming from? And you are, I believe that's why you are so successful, because you are every day honoring your background, your origins, your fathers, your parents, right? And I think that's number one thing to do. And I see you are very close to God as well, and I see I read on your email that one of your philosophies is the Mamba mentality, which I love it. I love Kobe. I was following Kobe for a lot of years, and actually look what I'm wearing right now. My Kobe's.
Oh, what? Those are so nice. Those
I
are
have
so
my
nice.
Kobe's for you today, and I love it. I love that Mamba mentality, which is a powerful drive and always giving the best out of you, and always supporting others, and trying to become a better person in every field of your life, right? Professional, personal, and everything. And tell me, how is that Mamba mentality in your day to day?
Dang. I honestly, with mom mentality of me, hashtag Mambasita, because she's also part of that. But mama mentality for me means obviously becoming the best version of yourself. 8 years old, as when I started watching basketball with my dad. My dad was a Michael Jordan Chicago fan, and for some reason I was like, I love this guy. But then with that first year when Kobe got drafted in 1996, he was 18. There was something about him that I was like super mesmerized. I was like, whoa, who was that? I want to be like that. Like just the drive that he showed, and the drive on the floor and off the floor, was for me was one of the biggest things that I came across. And that's when I just became a nerd when it came down to being like him. And I think he's helped me throughout my whole entire life, not just then, but now, because I've instilled that mama mentality in every single day of my life. And gratitude obviously also goes with the mama mentality. Being a service goes with the mama mentality. But also the mama mentality means that you're gonna fail. And I think I think I've learned a lot from my failures. I think I've learned the most from my failures, and that's where I feel like I've gravitated to it the most. Because I don't know if you remember when Kobe was going through a transition of like he was number 8 to 24. And I feel like I kind of went like that too. Not to copy him or anything, but I think for me it was when my parents got divorced. Like they divorced when I was 24. I'm 33 now. That's when I kind of flipped the switch and was like, whoa, I have to be even better than what I am now. But on my day-to-days at work, I honestly take that to heart every day. Like at work, I'm that person to be like, hey guys, how you guys are doing? Checking in on you guys. Don't get me wrong, work is work and we have to get our stuff done, but I am a people leader. At least I consider myself a people leader, and people are very important to me. And it doesn't matter if you play sports or read or are into swimming or whatever it is. If you're not into sports, you can still have the mama mentality. So I just try to check on people every single day and just be of service for them overall. I don't know sometimes when I say, hey, how you guys are doing? Or, hey, is everything okay? People just completely open up to me, which I think that's another gift that I have, which I don't really try. This is just who I am overall. But I would say the mama mentality has let me, obviously, I'm still not where I need to be, but every single day I try to bring that, whether it's with people, with myself, with my family, and even just being the best overall. It's not about winning, it's about learning.
Yeah, it's about the journey. Hey, Johanna, tell me a little bit, how's a day to day on being a people person on Nike and on your function, and how is it to be a Nike community ambassador? What's your role on those with those titles?
So for I'm a Nike community ambassador, what happens is pretty much we go and we align with an organization or a nonprofit or schools. And what we do is we share, hey, if you guys need help with tutoring, if you need help with like kids getting moving like in sports. We've had marathons with the kids where the marathons we just like running around with the kids and
Mm-hmm.
the parents are giving their donations. But the cool thing about the Nike Community Ambassador Program is that the time that we donate, let's say we donate 4 hours in an event, and I take 5 people, the Nike doubles that. So those hours go automatically to the organization that we're helping. So
Mm.
I think that's like the most rewarding because right now I have my community ambassador person that's like kind of like my right hand. And he's done over 300 hours just helping in Pop Warner, volunteering. And at
Wow.
the end, he's gonna be able to give about anything between, I think, $5,000 back to them just for him, donating his time. So
Wow.
like yeah, kids are honestly our generation, the next generation and our future. So I think for that, like we have to spend some time with the kids. And that's who I was growing up as well. So just being a Nike community ambassador has helped me a lot too, as well as like being more sympathetic and
Mm.
just helping the kids, whatever it is, because those are the kids that need the most help. So like I said, God always places you in the right places if you have the right mindset or the right thing you want to do. So actually this last weekend we went to Fontana Riverside.
Mm-hmm.
We impacted about 50 kids. We got in touch with a trainer that has his own organization. It's called I Can Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And we impacted about 50 kids. I think we did over 150 hours of community with all the
Oh,
stores that
wow.
came. Yeah, it was Carlsbad, it was Ontario, Alpine. It was about 4 or 5 stores. The most amazing time I had, and it connected me a lot. It reminded me of when I did that and just being
Mm.
part of, who I am as well. Because I was that kid. My parents had to work. I spent time at the YMCA, recreational centers, at the parks. And just for me, seeing that connection with the kids and how much fun we had, it was the most rewarding.
You know what, Joanna? I think that's very powerful because if you see it's kids, I mean young kids, that they from one way or another when you guys come, you Joanna with your team and that with that brand in your back, so they feel like empowered by like, oh my god, at least for 4 hours I'm part of Nike, or I'm related with Nike, with Kevin Durant, with LeBron, with Jordan.
Yeah.
It's inspirational, and I have a lot of respect for Nike because they have a lot of programs like that. For example, I'm a small business owner myself for 15 years. Last year I graduated my company on Nike headquarters on the Nike Academy as a supplier for them, and they give us. I was like 4 months with part of my team on that seminar from Nike. Nike teaches me and my team how do I need to perform and what do I need to understand to become a
Mhm.
supplier of Nike, and everything was for free. And
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it made me feel proud to have on my records that I'm Nike Academy graduate. I'm cohort 1 is the Air Max cohort, and I was and they invite us to the Nike headquarters on Oregon for graduation. They take us a nice tour over the LeBron facility, the Serena Williams facility, and I have to say and confess, I'm very sensitive, and I was crying. I was alone crying when I saw everything that Nike built around Tiger Woods to
Mhm.
to honor the greatness of this guy since he was a kid. And I mean, all the greatness, it was so powerful to read all the quotes, the videos that they have about Tiger Woods, all the all the equipment that they donate to Nike for that. It's just so powerful how the storytelling and embracing greatness and igniting greatness for those athletes, and also, I mean, disperse that greatness to all of us around, inspiring us, right? So I have a lot of respect for Nike on that field. I love Nike shoes. I love Kobe's. I collect sneakers. I have a lot of Jordans, Pippins, pennies, Kyrie Irvings. I know he's no longer with Nike, but that's fantastic. I mean, to having the pleasure as a brand, as a powerful brands like Nike or Reebok or others, to give back in that way, to inspire small business owners, kids, women. I mean, every part of the community. It's very powerful, and I respect a lot. So, Johanna,
Nike.
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Nike is very good at storytelling, and I
Oh
think
yeah,
you said it right. You said it right. Like the most important thing when you see those moments, it kind of takes you back to like where did I get my first pair of Jordans? Where did I get my first
yeah,
pair of Pippins? Like for me, the first time that I encountered and I went, because I had I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but 2 years ago I was part of there's a program called Track Stretch through Nike, which they kind of connect you into the corporate world, and I had the pleasure to work with them for 6 months. I did recruiting with consumer and marketplace. So
hmm,
when I went up there and the first time, not that year, but the first time I went and I saw those buildings and I saw everything just like you, it kind of took me back when I was
sure,
like 12, 13, when I was just like a geek and just, I had all the posters and I had all, the basketballs. Like, I'm not in my room right now, but in my room, I have all Kobe posters in the background. I have so many things, so many shoes, like there's just so many things. And I think that's one of the things that I think people gravitate to Nike, because Nike is all about culture and storytelling, which if you think about it, that's just who we are as people too. We communicate through that. I think
sure.
those are probably like the greatest moments that we happen, whether it's your family or with your friends. So I think that's why Nike's been successful overall. And honestly, I'm very happy. I'm still with the brand. And like I told you, I always saw myself working with the brand. And I always wore Nike. I never wore anything else. Like even like my basketball uniforms and stuff like that. Oh, we're gonna be this brand. And I'll be like, nah, I'm gonna wear this one. I'm only gonna wear it. It's just a feeling. You feel good, you want to perform good. And like you said, greatness, Nike brings that out of you. Like
Mm,
I'm not the same person I was when I first started with them to now, because it's just the things that you see every day, like the day to day, and then just I would say the people in Nike, you can learn anything from anyone, which I think that's a great skill that they have.
sure, sure. I'm with you. I saw that when I was for a couple of days on the Nike headquarters. I mean, all the company culture they have, all the empowerment that they had, and of course they are. I mean, they are very severe, or I mean, they demand a lot from employees of well, of course, but they do it. But employees they do it happily, right? Because they believe in the brand, they believe in performing, and they are empowered to be working for brands like that, and they feel like they are part of that LeBron, of that Michael, like Kevin Durant, Serena, all those guys. I mean, it's a, I mean, very different environment. I used to work on corporate before having my business. I used to work for the automotive industry, but I mean, being on a in a sports athletics, that's a different game. That's a different game, and that's it. I wanna congratulate you for being there on those and that journey. Hey, Joanna, I would like to ask you,
Mhm.
what is the one of the most significant fights in your life?
Ooh. Like through work, personal, or anything.
Both professionally and in your personal life.
Okay, I would say my biggest fight for me, I'm gonna say two. They're connected with work and they're connected with personal and professional. So I already mentioned my parents' divorce. Like I think during that time, like I said, 24, 23, I was still a kid. I just had graduated college. I went to college in Washington. Um, came back to like not the same thing, like the same house or being in the same place with my parents and my siblings. I think I had to, push myself even harder because at that time I was like, you know what, I don't want to be in the middle of them because I was just me growing up, always being in the middle because I'm the oldest, always fixing their problems and stuff like that or trying
Mm.
to. So, I kind of broke out of my shell. I was like, if I'm gonna do this the right way and this is for me, I'm just gonna do everything not on my own, but I just wanted to start fresh. So, I think the hardest thing was me. I was like living in my car for a little bit. I lived in my car for like
Mm.
3 or 4 months during that
Wow.
time because the period was just, I didn't want to deal with anybody. I just wanted to do things on my own. I was driving from Calexico all the way to where I work in Carlsbad during that time for 3 to 4, I think 3 to 4 months more or less. But for me, it felt like eternity, honestly. Like during those months, it's like it was a hard time for me. It was definitely probably the hardest fight for me. And I would say the other fight for me was my brother that just passed. He passed away
Mm.
3 years ago during COVID,
Oh, wow.
due to mental health, not necessarily for COVID, but he passed away from mental health stuff. Me and him were like 5 years apart, 4 or 5 years apart. So he was like, I grew up with him. And in the transition of me with my parents and like getting promoted into the brand and getting promoted, and then this happened. I think that was like a really bad setback for me because mentally I wasn't there. But Nike was, you know, supported me. Like they gave me the time that I needed. My head coach, we call him Coach too. His name's Coach John. He's been since with me since the beginning too. He's about to retire next year in the same store as well, and he was very helpful overall, and Nike too as well with just giving me time to get better and stuff like that. But at the same time, with my brother passing away, like it also kind of did a switch on me too. Like, hey,
Mm.
I was focusing too much on work. Now it's time to just focus on my family, being with my siblings. Because my other siblings, if you know me, whoever is going to see this, I'm very family orientated. I'm always
Mm.
talking about my family and my siblings. So my other siblings are 17 and 18. So, I just was like, this is a time where I have to it happened for a reason, whatever happened, but at the same time, God is probably telling me, hey, maybe you're working too much. Maybe you need to spend more time with your family. And honestly, I've been doing that more often the last 3 years, just having a work-life balance, and just being there overall with my parents because they went through like the worst time of their lives too when he wasn't here, obviously. But I would say those two were probably one of the biggest fights for me
Wow.
overall as a person. I don't really share these things, but throughout the time, I felt like I've healed a little bit by little. Like I said, I'm not 100% there, but
Mm.
now I'm okay to talk about those things because of the things that we just go through in life. And yes, a lot of people say like you're so positive, like why are you so positive if all these bad things are happening to you? But God only knows what your path is. God only knows where you're going. And sometimes God puts those, stumps in your life for you to learn something and continue to get better. So
Wow.
I would say we're probably the
So
worst.
sorry for hearing that about your um brother. I'm sorry about that, and thank you for sharing that and opening your heart here with us. Appreciate that, and I know it will be good for you to talk openly about that. It's part of healing, right?
Yeah, especially with the mental health. Like
Mm.
I'm more in touch with that even myself because I saw my brother struggle with that. Obviously, there was other things there, but that was like the main root of what happened. And I think as human beings, sometimes we don't realize certain things until, bad things kind of happen. And I think overall, I think humanity, even though in the position that we are now in the world and how things are happening, I think people are more aware of it. And I always talk about that with everybody. That's why my content is always about self-love and self-care because I know my brother is still looking,
Mm.
above me and guiding me and be like, you're doing well, you're supposed to, you're with me, I'm here with you. And I think overall, imagine if we were all healed, right? It would be a perfect world. At the end of the day, we have to put the little grain of salt in there every single day, because those little grain of salts are going to become a whole bottle
Oh,
of.
sure. Hey, by the way, share with us a little bit about that movement that you have on Instagram, which is motivated mindset. Tell me about that. I like it.
Yeah, so I have a IG. It started as an IG, as just, me being the motivated mindset. I just wanted to motivate people. I actually started it during the pandemic, because obviously that's when my brother passed, and then I started it because I wanted to bring out something. But what the motivated mindset means is just we lose motivation every day, but I feel like since we are here all the time in the phone 24/7, if you see that one thing that you probably need to hear that day, that's probably going to change something in you. And that's why I started the motivated mindset, and then it turned into a podcast. So I have my own podcast as well. I haven't been as consistent recently for season 2, but the first season, what I did was I got a few of my friends that were into business, and we just talked about business, and just not necessarily business, but it was mostly like about life. Like, how do you see, I wanted to see, how do they see their life through their business, but also what are some things that they can share with us to continue to be motivated through our own like, craft. So it started as an IG and just me just posting like basketball and, quotes in here and there, but it's been already like 3 years since it's been going on. So it's just a little bit of me. Like I said, it's who I am. And honestly, the motivated mindset has helped me a lot. Some people think that I post because I want to be a motivational speaker and things like that, but that's not what it is for me. Posting there, it actually is for me. It also helps me because those are the things that I go through, but I don't know if people actually realize that, because everything that I post is how I'm feeling that day, or how, I want to, if I feel good, I want to post it. If I don't feel good, I'm going to post it. So a lot of people think that social media is for people, but I think social media should be for you.
You know what, Johanna? That resonates a lot with me on that, because it's this kind of like the same with the books. So I published my book on 2021, Get in the Ring. It's an entrepreneur's guide for the real world. And so when I published the book, what I learned is that I create this book. It's a saying that say every author create the book that he needs for himself, right? Yeah. So, and yes, I believe that everything that I put on my book, it's because I need it. I need it for myself. And I'm always tell young guys when I have a speaker, I'm a speaker on universities or on startups event, things like that. I always mention to them that I'm not sharing the content of my book or my lessons from mastery. I'm sharing the content of my book from I'm like you. I mean, I'm still struggling with the content that it's on my book. I'm still working and trying to grow and elevate my game in those same topics. It's not. Yeah. I'm not talking from mastery. I'm talking as a learner as well of the topics on my book. So it resonates to me that you say the same with all those beautiful messages that you are putting on Instagram videos, sharing wisdom, sharing good things, sharing motivational ideas and messages. And I think it's so powerful, because out there on social media, it's a lot of trash, it's a lot of bad news, challenging things, and we have to know that a lot of young guys are listening that. And if you are, it's very simple. If you put good things over here, good things are going out of your brain as well. right? It's not the opposite. And I think you are adding a lot of value on social media. And maybe, as you say, if you can change the life or the mindset of just one person, that pays off every aspect of the efforts that you put to be there on social media. I do the same with this podcast. I'm doing it because I hope that we can change with these conversations about business, about life. At least one person can change their narrative, or we can save the business of one person. We can save the life of one person. We can save thousands of dollars or even $1 million by the learnings that we share here. Or we can save the business of someone that is struggling, and now he gets some inspiration or an idea that he can catch from our conversations here. And I believe, hopefully, that someone is listening this podcast and listening your heart and your soul about empowering, and that there is a lot of hope over there. I mean, the world is a good place, and I think you are demonstrating that is full of opportunities, full of good things to live for. And I want to thank you for that.
You're welcome. And I haven't been like this all the time. Trust me, the work is, people don't see the work, behind doors. And I've never been the person to be like, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's more of like, I'm just doing it, and that's who I am, And I've had people, obviously give me criticism and, hey, you think you're all that, or you think this and that. And honestly, like, that for me comes in this year and comes out here, because I already know what my purpose is in life. And like I said, there's people that still don't know their purpose, even if they're 50, 60, but at any age you can figure that out. And some people are there, some people are not there, but that's okay. The people that they're aligned with you and are gonna walk since day one with you, they understand who you are. And honestly, you only need one person for yourself to be able to carry that on and continuing. I haven't had a lot of people like that in my life, which that's one of the things that I think I also struggle with. Like, I'm that person for everybody, but then I don't have that person to give me that kind of guidance. But at the same time, that's when I'm like, okay, God, what's next? Like, you need to help me out here. Like, where's my next step? Because sometimes we get a little distracted, or we're like too frustrated, or hey, I want this now. Like, why isn't that happening now? But it's God's plan ultimately. And I think right now I understand that. And, I'm just me. And wherever I go, this is who I am. Doesn't matter, like I said, the position that I have, or who I'm with, or anything like that. Like, you just have to be you, because you never know who you're going to inspire.
Nice. Hey, Johanna, I want to ask you, what is the next big fight or big opportunity that you are pursuing on Nike?
So right now, my biggest fight is obviously continuing to the next level. So I want to be ultimately, it's called a Next trainer. So pretty much what you are, Nike Next trainer. You pretty much go into all the stores in the district or in the West and just go and share knowledge, product knowledge, pro events, which I already have. Recruiting for me is the most rewarding, because just like life, you recruit people where you meet and make those connections. But for me, seeing the process from the beginning to end of somebody being okay to be an expert gives me the most rewarding. So for me, the next step, or at least the fight right now, is becoming that person. Obviously, Nike is very competitive and there's limited position and things like that. As a Latina, as a woman, I just have to continue. I think that the hardest thing is I've always had to work the double, sometimes triple.
Sure.
But like, I think the biggest fight for me right now is just obviously becoming that person. And I just want Nike to see that I can be that person for them, because I know they see it. It's just sometimes you just need the title. But honestly, for me, it doesn't matter what the title is, but I know I'm going to be there one time. Doesn't matter how long it takes me, I'm going to be there.
Nice. I believe you will achieve that. Johanna, what's as a fighter, what do you think is your best shot? What's your specialty? Your perfect weapon as a fighter?
I would say my weapon as a fighter would be my personality. My personality, and just being grateful, showing empathy, and being empathetic with people is my power that God gave me. And I think that's why I'm here in the world and at work. And if I could tell you all the stories that I've helped through at work and in life, we would be here for probably like 10 hours. But I think my superpower is that is being there for people, being sympathetic, and showing kindness. Doesn't matter where you go.
Love it. That's a killer. Hey, Johanna, and what's your weakness as a professional or as a person? What do you think is your weakness that you have to be covering yourself on that side?
My passion.
Your passion?
My passion is my weakness too. Because sometimes I want things too much for people, and I want to be like, you just, this is what you need to do, but you don't understand right now. But
you are obsessive. You are obsessive.
Yes, I am obsessive and showing my passion to people. And trust me, there's a lot of people that like reciprocated, but I also have to be able to give them their time. And like I said, everybody's journey is different, and not everybody's going to connect with me. And I think that's one of the hardest things for me too. Like, not everybody's like you. That's why I said my passion, it's probably my weakness as well. Because I just want people to do so good, but if they're not in that right state of mindset, that's all on them. All I can provide is the resources, being there for them, and just guiding them.
Wow, that's great answer. Hey, and Johanna, who's on your corner right now? Talking about that parallelism between boxing and business or life, who's your corner man right now? Who's in your corner?
I would say my mentors. I think my mentors are always in my corner. Christy, Tony, they're one of the biggest supporters in Nike and have been in my journey as well. And obviously, honestly, I can count my friends with this palm right here. Even though I'm single and stuff like that, I have like the right people with me. The corner of my eyes is literally just my dad, my mom, my siblings, and my best friends, which is a few. But if I didn't have my mentors, those are the people that, have helped me stay focused. It's okay. Things are not going to go your way sometimes, but they're the reminder of me of who I am and what I'm trying to do. So it's funny because Christy is like me, and my other mentor, Tony, is like the totally opposite of me. So when I talk to both of them, it's like a mixture of me. So
the yin and yang.
The yin and yang. But those are definitely the people in my corner. And I strongly believe like the people that always start with you are the people that you need to take all the way with you.
What's the championship fight that you would like to fight?
Whoa, that's a hard one. Wait, elaborate a little bit more on that.
So, what's let's say the project that you are pursuing? That project is a championship is the fight of the fights, right? Boxers prepare of life, and they fight some fights in order to be in the big one, right? In the big fight, the championship, the one that is bringing the exposure, the wisdom, the money, the position, the title. And so talking about for you, I mean, you have a lot of fights. I mean, you have your journey. What is that championship that you oversee that you would like to be fighting soon?
My championship for me would be just to continue to help people. Honestly, I think it's just making them better overall. I don't have like a specific championship because I've never like seen myself as just the winner. I've always been like the underdog, if that makes sense.
Sure.
And overall, the championship for me will be just to help as many people as I can while I'm still alive. And then hopefully they continue that legacy because I want to remember as a person that, hey, I know that girl was known for her heart. She was known for helping those people, and look at where these people are now. And just seeing people grow overall, I think for me, the championship would be for my siblings to get to wherever they want to be, becoming more better than I was. And I can already see them be there. It's just a matter of time, but they're still young, so they don't understand a lot of things. But overall, I would say just helping people along the way. It doesn't matter who it is.
Love it, love it. Yeah, I mean, so you are a people person. You love to serve for others, and that's very hard to find. It's very, very hard. So as you will say, that's your superpower and your uniqueness. And believe me, that opened a lot of doors, a lot of doors. That opened more doors than any title, that any money, that any company position. And thank you for that. Hey, what's the Nike athlete that you would like to know in person?
Whoa, right now? Current. Obviously it's gonna be John Morant.
John
I don't know if you know
Moran? Wow.
John Morant. He
Why?
he reminds me of the same drive and this humbleness that Kobe started when he was young. I feel like he just lets his game speak for itself. I'll never see him like just saying stuff to the refs or I mean he just got signed with Nike too. He just
Sure.
released his signature shoe. I don't know, a lot about him reminds me of Kobe and he's starting in the right the right steps. And then for the women's side, I would like to meet Kelsey Plum. I don't know if you know who she is, but
Mm-mm.
she plays for the Aces Las Vegas. They're
Mm.
actually in the championship. The last round, they're gonna play New York. But she's actually from San Diego. Like she
Mm.
graduated over here and she made it to the WNBA. So her drive too remembers me a lot of who I was when I was playing. But obviously she's a pro, I'm not.
I was assuming your answer will be LeBron.
I have no comment.
Okay. Oh my God.
He's a
Okay.
great athlete. I love him. Like he's a great athlete. Everybody loves and he is the guy. I give him all that. But my loyalty always will be with,
With John.
Kobe.
Or with
With John,
Kobe or
with
Michael.
Kobe.
I'm a
Yeah,
Michael guy. I
just Kobe.
That's Kobe. No, I love Kobe. You know what? I have a little story about Kobe Bryant. The day before he passed, I was with my older son. My older son plays basketball on tournaments from high school. So he was with me in a tournament and he was playing very bad with no passion and all that. And I was always telling him or sharing with him a lot of videos about Kobe Bryant because I really admire that Mamba mentality. I love, everything around that Kobe-ness, that Kobe thing. And I was putting Kobe, as an example for him. And also because of the age. Kobe's younger than Michael. And
Yeah.
so young guys, they have more empathy for guys like Kobe Bryant, those young guys. So anyway, so I was sharing a lot of videos about Kobe playing, performing to him. And that day I was so desperate. Yelling him from the off court. And So he was so down, and I say, "Oh!" So I start googling pictures of Kobe Bryant, like with a lot of passion, and I found a picture of Kobe Bryant screaming like after making a good, very good play. So, and I put it on my big phone screen, and I stand up and I show him the picture of Kobe Bryant screaming, and I told him, play like that with that passion. And he was, he saw me and he started playing a little bit better, but I was so passionate. Unfortunately, next day is when he passed, and that was so hard for me, for my son. That was a very unfortunate thing. But anyways, that was a little thing that I still say I saved that picture for my son, and we always talk about that little story, but it's very unfortunate. So I want to finish the conversation by, I want you to imagine that you are in that championship fight, right? And you will be the corner man of one person, one of the fighters. It's an entrepreneur, right? It's a brand new entrepreneur. With all the passion, all the dreams, all the plan to be on the entrepreneur's arena. So the challenging guy is the champion, and that champion represents the current environment on the current market of 2023, 2024, which we are living a lot of uncertainty. We are living on AI things. A lot of technology, challenging economy down. And but at the same time, a lot of good things happening as well. So what will be your advice in the corner to that entrepreneur to be able to win that championship fight to the market of 2023, 2024? What will be your advice for him?
To never give up. It doesn't matter what happens, to never give up. Even though it's just that one opportunity that you have, give it your best, and let your work or your sport speak for yourself. Let that fight speak for yourself, and make sure you make a statement, because people will always remember you as that one instant, that one fight, that one game, that 181 points a game. Like, you just have to give your best. It doesn't matter if you're not gonna win, but you wanna make sure people remember you. So never quit, because if you quit, you're not even trying.
Love it. Love your answer. And so Johanna, finally, something that you wanna tell or share with other Latinos working on corporations like Nike, like Reebok, like Adidas, like Target, Macy's. What do you want to share with them as a Latino, as a Latina, in regards of never giving up, and having your own drive, believing on yourself? What do you want to advise them, since you are on a good position and one of the greatest companies that ever exist?
I would say you're always going to face adversity, but it all relies on you. So adversity is definitely part of who we are as Latinos. We've gone through it since the beginning till now. Things are changing now, but I would say don't let that adversity affect what you want to do, because at the end of the day, you are living for you. You're not living for nobody else. So Latinos, mi gente, échenle ganas. No se dejen, échenle más ganas. We have to work harder than what we have to sometimes, and that is okay. We're just hardworking people. People recognize that, and just continue to have a smile wherever you go. Kill them with kindness. I always say that.
Yeah, that Mamba mentality, right?
Yeah.
Love it. Johanna, I want to thank you so much for giving us this window of opportunity to be able to talk with a Latina, successful Latina working for one of the biggest and greatest company out there. And thank you for letting us go deep into your heart, into your soul, into your vision about life, about business. Appreciate so much. And thank you for giving us the chance on this platform to share that. And I'm sure your words will resonate in a lot of people, on corporations, a lot of people on the streets, young guys that are pursuing something, pursuing their dreams. And look at you, 33-year-old. Making great performance on Nike, and being a mentor, being a coach, and being a person of value and of impact.
I'm just getting started. That's all I'm gonna say. But thank you. Thank you for having me on here. This is very exciting. Like all day I was like, oh my God, I want to do it already. I want to do it already. So thank you for
No,
giving people the chance to like just talk and share their story, because not a lot of people are doing what you're doing. We see those big people on social media, but I honestly believe that people like me and people like you will make a greater impact. So thank you. Thank you, Jose.
no, thank you so much. So thank you so much. And always put that heart on in front of you. You are so passionate. I really admire it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Well, have a good one. Take care.
Bye bye.
Have a good night. Bye.